welcome to the Front-End Development course. It's nice to see that more than 200 people are interested in learning about this, and I think this has the highest number of participation across all the courses. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, a bit of a background about me. I'm Aadhavan, Adi for short. I am currently in my fourth year at NIT Calicut, pursuing computer science and engineering. Uh, I've been working at Oracle as an intern for the past 2 months. Um, and I can't really go much into detail about it, even though I want to. Sorry about that. Okay, before start, I just want to make sure everyone knows what we'll be doing for the next 5 to 6 classes and what you can expect from this course. And just want to make sure this is an introduction course. Yeah, sorry, this class is an introduction class. From tomorrow, we'll start the coding stuff. Okay. So, what can you expect from this? So, you will get an insight into web development as a whole with emphasis on the front end part. Even though this is a front end course, I may highlight on stuff that is not regarded to front end, but it may be helpful for you if you're planning on pursuing this further. A small guide that might help you decide if this is the right path for you. So, since there are multiple paths that you can take within computer science itself, and web development is one of them, and I want to make I mean, this might help you decide if this is the path that you want to take further. Okay. And you'll also get a view from a student about your age who has gone through the process of learning it. So that's me. Okay. To make things really clear, this course will not be a step-by-step coding tutorial. There are hundreds and thousands of tutorials online which does the exact same thing, but that will not be something that I will be focusing on. I will be motivating you to learn on your own. I will provide like a framework, like a guide as to how you can do things. And from that, it's up to you to pursue it further. I'm trying to spark your interest. And if you are interested, you will definitely pursue it. And I can guarantee that web development is interesting. It's really interesting. And once you go into it, you won't want to come out of it. Okay. Again, this will not be a step-by-step coding tutorial. This will be like a guide. I will code here and there, but I won't be asking you guys to do exactly what I'm doing. I'll be providing like a path for you to follow, and you guys will be doing the research. You guys will be looking into other tutorials. You guys will be looking into debugging stuff. I won't be doing those. So if we start, um, the course has a wide range of audience, so ranging from school kids up to college kids, and I'm not sure if it goes further, but this is what I know. So to cater to all of them, it's better that I go a bit slower. And if you feel like I'm going too slow, please increase the playback speed of the video. I think this will be uploaded to YouTube if I'm not mistaken. So you can either use YouTube's built-in speeding up tool or download an extension like this. So Firefox and Chrome, for example, offers this exact extension, video speed controller. It's really handy because you can control the speed using the keyboard buttons instead of navigating with the mouse, and that's definitely faster. Okay, so for anyone who has looked into web dev, they might have heard of many different technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, PHP, right? Python, Node.js, Angular, React. So what I'm trying to do is trying to make things really clear as to what is what you have to learn first, what you can do after learning the first things, and stuff like that. Because this is not done by many people. This roadmap is not given by many people, and I want to do that. Of course, I'll be teaching you front end as well, but this is really, really important, and I believe this is what helped me get a clear understanding when I started working on it. Web development is broadly classified into two steps: front end and back end. Okay, as you can see, I have mentioned something called UI UX. Okay, UI UX is The full form of UI UX is user interface and user experience. So these are the people who generally do not need coding experience at all. They don't need to know how to code. What they do is, so if you open a website or an app, for example, someone has to design the layout, basically how the website looks. For example, the button placement, the font sizes, the fonts, the family that they use, the colors, right? All of this is done by the UI UX people. They generally use, they can sketch out the design. They can use tools like Figma. There are tools such as Canva, Adobe XD. All of these tools are used by these people to design a layout for the website. Okay, they don't need any coding knowledge. And then comes the front end. So front end is the people who generally code up whatever UI UX people have done. So the front end team is usually responsible for developing whatever the customer sees. So if you open up a website and you see, let's say you open apple.com, you see the fancy animations, you see the beautiful fonts, you see the colors that they use. The coding part is done by the front end team. Okay, so now coming to the backend team. Backend team does work that is generally not reflected when you see stuff. So it goes on in the background. Let's say you go to apple.com, you want to purchase a phone, you click on buy now. What happens after you click on buy now is taken care by the backend team. They are responsible for the setup of the service, the connection of the front end to the database that they have, and many complex stuff goes on in the backend as well. So all three of these steps are really important. Usually what happens is UI UX is consolidated under front end, but just to make things clear for you guys now, front end and back end are solely dependent upon code, but UI UX is not. Okay. So when people ask, generally we say that web development is divided into front end and back end, but just to make things clear for you guys, UI UX does not deal with code and it generally comes under front end. Okay. So leaving web development aside, let's talk about software development in general. So there are multiple steps that goes on into making a successful software, and this flowchart gives you an ideal scenario of how those things look. There can be other steps that can be involved. Some steps may not be involved. It depends. It depends on what they do. Okay, this is the general case. So before you develop something, you plan for it. You plan what is needed, what is required, if it's possible, if it's feasible, and stuff like that. That comes under planning part. Then you design it. Designing does not really mean just the UI UX part. It also means the design of the databases. That is a bit too much to discuss during this course right now, but just make sure, just to keep in mind that um, design generally does not mean only the things that you see. It also, backend team also has a design part of how the servers are set up, of how the database is set up, for example. Okay, that goes into the design part. Then comes the development phase. So these people are the ones uh, who code the software basically. After coding, what will you do? Before you release it to the public, you test it. Testing is an important phase that we generally miss while coding. As in, generally, we as in um, us not working for any companies or startups or whatever. We generally skip the testing part, but testing is really crucial. We'll come back to that later. Next, after successful testing, we go to the deployment phase where consumers get the product that we have developed. After deployment, we do maintenance. Every product that we deploy can't be 100% successful, right? There will be some bugs that creep up when hundreds and thousands of people start using the app that we may have ignored during the testing phase or um, yeah, stuff like that. So there will be maintenance. Maintenance takes care of, let's say, bug fixes or increasing the capacity of the service. and multiple other things. So you have to maintain what you have developed. So this is generally what goes on in the software development process. Enough of the theory part. I hope I didn't bore you guys, but now let's get to the good stuff. Again, this class is just an introduction. I want to make sure that everyone is set up with the proper tools that they need to start development from tomorrow onwards. Okay. Um, to write code, we can write again. We'll be starting with HTML, CSS. I think everyone knows that. So to write proper code, we need somewhere to write a code, right? We can write it. There are multiple. This is what we call code editors or IDEs. So there are multiple code editors available, and if you guys have already uh, are already into coding, you might have noticed. You can probably identify a few of them. So this is VS Code, and this is Vim. This is Notepad++. So there are many code editors available but for this course and developers in general prefer VS Code because VS Code is has a lot of extensions available, especially for web development, and it's open source as well. So it's generally appreciated by the coding community. Okay, so I recommend everyone to download VS Code. It's really easy. Just you can just type it on Google. Again, I'm not going to go in detail on how to install each and everything. I'll tell you what to do. You figure it out. If there's any issues, debug it, look online. There'll be thousands of Stack Overflow versions with the same issue. So use those resources. And then if you still can't figure it out, please reach out to me. I'll give you the contacts in a bit. But this is the idea. You figure it out. If you can't get it, try to debug it. Look online. There are plenty of resources. If you still can't figure it out, please reach out. Okay. So what you'll be doing is downloading Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code looks something like this. I'll open it up. Okay, when you first open it up, you'll probably have something here, and then there are a couple of extensions that I want you guys to install. Okay, I'll close this. So the first one is called um, Live Server. It should be this one. So if you click here on extensions, type over here, it should say it should give you an option to install the extension. Please do that, and that's about it actually. There are other extensions that we may use in the future. I'll let you guys know about that. But for now, only this is necessary. Okay. You guys install VS Code and the one extension, the live server extension, you're pretty much ready to go. If you're finding any trouble installing it or have any problems or suggestions, any recommendations for the course that we'll be having, please send an email or you can WhatsApp me with this number. Or for those using Discord, there is a Discord server available. I think that will be easy to communicate. And my username is Adi with a dot in the end. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.